nothing for you.
Absolutely not.
I have never before felt so humiliated in a retail store. My trip to the brand new Rolex authorized dealer in the Hamptons was supposed to be a fun day out, but it turned into a bizarre, condescending event. It perfectly shows you why you might be better off going to the gray market and paying a premium for that modern Rolex. It was a masterclass in gatekeeping that made me feel much more like a suspect than a customer. And I know I'm not the only one out there that feels this way. This weird power dynamic has become the defining feature of shopping for a Rolex at an authorized dealer, and quite frankly, I'm done with it. While visiting family on Long Island, my brother and I had decided to stop into the brand new Rolex boutique in the Hamptons run by London Jewelers. I'd seen the pictures online, a beautiful historic home restored to its beauty and into an immersive Rolex experience. Now, I previously had a positive experience with London Jewelers. I bought my Omega Seamaster from them and it was a really pleasant experience. This location still exists. It's across the street in East Hampton, and they sell other brands like Omega and Cartier, and they sell the certified pre-owned Rolexes. This new AD is specifically for new modern Rolexes. So I walked into the Rolex boutique with a positive mindset, not expecting to walk out with a new watch, but also not expecting to be treated with such disrespect. Let me set the scene. The boutique's exterior is coated in the Hamptons preferred cedar shake shingles. The boutique is set back from the road, but if you can believe it, the door is protected by a green velvet rope. Take that in. A green velvet rope. The messaging is clear. This place is for the elite, not for riffraff like me. The second we stepped in, we felt a really weird vibe. Like walking into a party and all of a sudden the music stops and all the people there turn around and stare at you. The boutique is beautiful, no doubt. 2 stories high, walnut accents, marble on the walls, and of course, the Rolex screen everywhere as well as the crown. The air was thick with a sterile, unwelcoming quiet. It was early on a Sunday and it wasn't crowded. And yet my brother and I felt like we were inconveniences to the whole operation. A greeter with an iPad asked us if we had an appointment and was disappointed when we said no. She asked us to wait for a moment while she went and found the salesperson for us. We walked around looking at watches on display. About 5-10 minutes later, a well-dressed, preppy, dark-haired salesperson approached us. She had a big, insincere smile, polite on the outside, but we could tell she was immediately sizing us up. She asked if we owned any Rolexes, and I told her about my vintage Datejust. And I showed her, right? And, of course, looking down at my jangly bracelet, you know what she told me? She told me, this is right off the bat, that if I ever had this serviced by Rolex, they would insist on replacing my jangly bracelet. Can you imagine? Like, that's how you start the conversation? So trying to move past that, we had asked her if we could see the Batman and Bruce Wayne GMTs. She left us for about another 5 minutes or so, went and grabbed the watches and brought them back. As we were looking at them and admiring them, I asked her what she thought about Rolex discontinuing the Pepsi. And I was met with a blank stare. Finally, she said, "I'm not sure what you mean." I was like, you know, the blue and red bezel on the GMT Master? And she kind of gave me a blank stare and kind of shrugged. And I was just speechless. How does someone working at Rolex not know the nicknames of these watches? It's totally bizarre. And so she saw my confusion, and then she went on to clarify, well, we're not allowed to use the nicknames in the store. I thought that was so bizarre. Customers coming in off the street aren't going to know the reference numbers. They're not going to go, oh, that's the 1-6, blah, 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 right? So they're obviously going to reference the nicknames. It just felt like such a bizarre way to control your sales staff. And my brother, who's really not even a watch guy, felt it too. He would later ask me in the car, is that normal? And I didn't know exactly what to tell him. So at this point, I decided to tell her that I had a very positive experience buying the Omega Seamaster across the street at London Jewelers. So she went into her iPad, decided to look up my profile, and saw that I had bought it in 2021. And she said out loud, oh, well, that was over 5 years ago. The implication was clear. My buying history meant jack shit. The price tag was too inconsequential for it to matter. After that, I said, screw it. I'm just gonna be direct. I asked, this may be a silly question, but is there any chance that I might leave here today with a timepiece? And you won't believe her response. She said, definitely not. Could you imagine someone telling you that definitively? Definitely not? Not even playing the game. Most places you go to, well, we have a wait list, we can take your name, and depending on how many were allocated, maybe we can get through the list fairly fast. That was kind of the whole story that I'd been given before, but definitely not was a new one for me. So this experience is the perfect microcosm of what's happening with Rolex today. They put out a product that you want, so it's not really the product, but it's the experience of going into an authorized dealer and being met with such contempt. So, do I continue to wait around, assuming I still have interest in a modern Rolex? Or do I go to the gray market when I can get something immediately versus waiting another 3 years, another 4 years, when the MSRP will continue to creep up? Maybe the money I spend today will be the money that I would spend in 3 years when the MSRP gets up, right? Maybe I pivot entirely and go vintage Rolex. And these humiliating experiences of going through the motion of being scoffed at, being looked down upon, that's why the gray market exists. Sure, you might pay a premium for Rolex, but you're getting it today. You're not waiting around for some phone call that may or may not happen. In a lot of ways, the gray market is the only path that makes sense for those people who value their time and want to maintain their self-respect. So what about paying a premium? Well, my trip to this boutique in the Hamptons was humiliating. It's embarrassing for me. I took my brother and he's like, I can't believe you would put up with this. That's why you go gray market. You don't have to put up with that crap. At the end of the day, do you value your time and your dignity? Because that's what it's all about. If I ever decide to buy a modern Rolex, it's not going to be at the authorized dealer. Will I stop going to the ADs? No, but my purpose will be very different. It will be to try on watches. It will be to ask questions. It'll make sure that the watch fits, that it really is something that I can see myself wearing in the future. But I'm not going to buy there. I know that. And so I'll take that knowledge, then I'll go find a gray market dealer, a secondary dealer, and go make a purchase there. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. What about you guys? I would love to hear your experiences at the Rolex authorized dealers, about the gray market, the secondary market. Please tell me your stories in the comments below. That's it for me today. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.